someone who has seen insane growth is Sam Sulek.
Oh God, yeah.
What do you think about Sam Sulek?
I'm so fascinated how certain people just pop off on social media. Like, I'm trying to understand what has the formula been. Like, I didn't know of him before until it's basically kind of, you see the memes first. You're like, why is there a meme about this guy? And then you go onto the Instagram, you go onto the YouTube, and you just see like the following and the consistently high views, and you're like, oh my, what's he doing then? And you watch it, and it's just like pretty normal. There's no fancy edits or anything cinematic. It's just, I think the reason why it's worked so well is because he's just gone almost in the opposite direction. Instead of trying too hard with like the showing off and the musics, the editing, he's just like, this is just,
is there
a
ever
normal
any
guy.
Edits? It's
No music.
Like
he just like
after that first thing, it's just
as far as I know, it's just a camera on a tripod, and he's just doing his thing and sharing his thoughts, which is very simple, but after watching it, it makes sense why it works. He has some a lot of insightful things to say.
I think I heard this term the other day: growth hacking authenticity, and I think that everybody now is so skeptical of someone that's contriving a version of themselves. If you see someone that looks like they're trying too hard or they're putting on a particular, it's just, there's discomfort and ick and, oh, I don't like that. And I think Sam's lack of fancy car or fancy edit or fancy thumbnails or like any of that is just a signal of reliability. I think that's what people.
I think it's very relatable. If you think about how many men are in a similar situation to him. I remember when I started the YouTube channel, like everything was really basic. I was in, it was a terraced house in Newcastle. I was doing my meal prep video in a pretty shabby kitchen. My pots and pans were all completely fucked up. Like there was no lubrication on it. It was just sticking to everything. And I was just doing my meal prep, shopping at Lidl or Aldi, and just taking it to work with me. And people loved that because so many people could relate to it. And I remember the moment I kind of moved away from that, staying in more fancier places when I upgraded to my apartment in London, and I left London and came to Dubai. My audience was divided. There was half of them who were like really inspired and they were like, wow, like look what he's done. I want to do this as well. And then there's the other half who were just like, I can't really relate to you anymore. Like I can't relate to your life.
Yep. Well, make no mistake, man. If I was to guess the revenue that Sam is making per month, forget his hostile sponsorship and forget the other stuff, just from AdSense, I reckon it's at least $250,000.
Yeah. Because he's banging out a video nearly every day.
It's
and
daily videos
of
$500,000. Yeah, so
but
it's probably $250,000 a month.
There is always trends in the industry. Like something comes along from nowhere and is very popular. But there's very few things that remain that popular over a long period of time. Like, will it get to a point where his style of videos are not going to do it for people? Like, it gets to a point where it's boring now. Like, let me find something. What's the next hot trending thing?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely, for every trend, there is a counterculture trend. So I said this before. If you want to predict the future, look at a trend that exists now for which there hasn't yet been the exact opposite. So for every, let's say like Mike Thurston, well-edited fitness vlog with like cool fucking cinematic lighting and a guy with a gimbal and stuff, there's a Sam Sulek, which is kind of the same thing, but delivered in a very different sort of a way. Summer 2020, everyone's locked down, no one can go out. Summer 2021, Megan Thee Stallion does Hot Girl Summer, dress yourself up, go out, like have casual sex, like be dolled and glam. Summer 2022 is Feral Girl Summer, which is be a sloth, don't shave, don't wash, you don't need to be bothered even leaving the house, just eat beans in your pajamas. So like you have culture or trend and then counterculture or counter trend. And I think that Sam largely is not necessarily, probably a worse example to use you. I don't know who he's quite the antithesis of, but he's definitely counter to much of the fitness industry that is contrived. That's like you know, kind of like the equivalent of the pop idol boy band that was like pieced together. Like, you're the cool one and you're the whatever one. It doesn't feel like that. It's just some bloke going about his day. But, and I said this on an episode with Zach and people got mad about it. I still think it's the truth. If Sam wasn't elite level jacked, people wouldn't follow him. Mm-hmm. I think that what works about Sam, if Sam was some skinny fat guy that wasn't in good condition, wasn't lifting heavy and didn't have really great insight about fitness, he's just some bloke going to the gym.
That's a lot of people.
That's everyone's YouTube. That's every person's YouTube channel. I think that Sam is a likable, relatable guy who happens to be fucking massive. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, like he's me, but better.
Yeah.
He's so much of what we have is relatable and is the same. And on top of that, he's, you know, bodybuilder huge.
It's like, I look at Sebum as well. Like Sebum has this huge, like he is the biggest name in bodybuilding now. And I try and think, well, okay, so why is that the case? Obviously, he looks amazing, but he's such a nice, humble guy as well that I can't imagine why anyone would ever have a problem with him. So you combine that super jacked, amazing physique with just being a nice, humble guy. And it does, without a doubt, get harder to remain humble when you have that many people who are idolizing you and you have like over 21 million people following you. To not let that get to your head.
Well, there's two ways that it can get to your head. The first one being your ego is being inflated by everyone thinking that you're great. The second one is you becoming defensive and bitter about all of the people criticizing you.
Yeah.
So it works in two different ways. I'm going to become more harsh and more quick to attack because people have done it to me in the past. And all of these people are telling me that I'm great and I've got 5 championships. How the fuck am I not like the best in the world and everyone should listen to me? Yeah. It's like hard. It's hard to hold on to
especially if you're combining it with like, if you're taking some steroids as well, like that can also mess up with your mentality and the way that you're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, you know, I was watching a couple of videos from the Trend Twins as well. And they're like, I find them like a pretty interesting pair. Like they're an interesting pair of dudes. But Sam is just a fucking phenom at the moment. What's his face? Cam Haines brought him up to Rogan yesterday on his show. Have you heard of this Sam Sulek kid? It's like, there you go. Yeah. Derek from More Plates, More Dates did it as well in a little way. I think he purposefully didn't make his...
like he could have definitely leveled up with the production.
Yep.
But is that no?
People just wanted that like relatability, like high level insight, sprinkling of autism. Like that's what they wanted from there.
Sometimes I try not to get too heavily influenced. You know, I've had Iman Gadzi on the show.
Yes.
And the production quality on his videos is absolutely like insane, like best of the best. And then I'm thinking, fuck, maybe I need to get to that level of production. But I don't need to. I just focus on what it is that you're going to say.
It's your thing.
Because if you go too hard with the production, it gets a bit distracting and maybe, again, it becomes unrelatable.
This episode is brought to you by Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. It's a healthy alternative to sugary electrolyte drinks. It's got a science-backed electrolyte ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. You might ask, what do I want with an electrolyte drink? Well, it'll regulate your appetite, it'll curb cravings, it'll help improve your brain function. And best of all, it tastes phenomenal. First thing in the morning, this orange Element salt in water is outstanding. Your adenosine system that caffeine acts on isn't even active for the first 90 minutes of the day, so it's pointless having a morning coffee. Your adrenal system, which is what salt acts on, is active, so this will make you feel more alert, more awake, and improve your hydration. Best of all, they've got a no BS, no questions asked refund policy, so you can buy it, and if you do not like it for any reason, they will give you your money back. That's how confident they are that you'll love it. Head to drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom to get a free sample pack of all 8 flavors with your first box. That's drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, then press here for the full episode in all its glory.